Hello, and welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hello. Good afternoon. Hello. Hi. Welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me again. For those that are joining, for those that are rejoining, welcome everybody. We're soon to live set of Chilies and Clothes, and she'll be joining us in just a moment. So very excited to invite her into the chat. Hi, Rose. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, Chet, there she is.
How are
Oh,
you?
I'm very well, thank you, in my teepee. I'm very, very well. Thank you, my love. Good to see you. Good to
And
see you.
you as well. Thank
Really
you so
lovely.
much for having me, asking me to do this.
Chat, it really is my absolute pleasure, and I'm so thrilled to share you with everyone. I think that
Ah,
you are, from our conversation, certainly you are an absolute inspiration, and certainly, first and foremost, obviously, mum, blogger, influencer. I think you kind of epitomize this beautiful idea of a passion for fashion, but totally relatable to everyone. And I think that's where a lot of a lot of people really reach out to you, because I think that
no.
certainly it's accessible. Okay, and a lot of us just need accessible, and we need to understand. And certainly, having spoken to you before, you really helped me, even in those few minutes, to understand a little bit
Oh.
about. But first and foremost, Chet, about yourself, my darling. So firstly, your journey, actually interesting, into motherhood as a mum. It'd be lovely if you wouldn't mind sharing that for us.
Yeah, sure. So I guess when you asked me, to come along and join, I kind of saw that it was for the Fertility Help Hub. And my
Yeah,
first daughter was IVF. And so, it took 4 years. So I totally understand that feeling of helplessness, that roller coaster of emotions,
yeah,
sort of just wanting each step of investigation to happen so that you
yeah,
can, get to the next point.
yes,
And it took 4 years from
yes,
start to finish before I actually eventually got pregnant. And then even when I did, I overreacted to the IVF drugs, and so ended up in hospital for over a week.
right, yeah,
And then it took about 3 months to properly heal
right,
from the treatment. The good thing was I was pregnant
yes,
in that 3 months, but it was still, you kind of think getting pregnant's the hardest bit when you're going through that. But actually, then being pregnant, I kind of felt that was the hardest bit. And then actually, when I had the baby, I was like, oh my God, now what do I do? Goodness, how breastfeeding's the hardest bit. So there's
yes,
always a hard bit. But,
yes,
it was worth it. But I totally get anybody that's going through that emotion. I understand. I've been there. I've walked in those shoes.
yeah,
And I don't think unless you have walked in those shoes, you really get it. But
no,
that's with
yeah,
everything. I think that's with, any journey of any type.
yes, yes,
So yeah, but I guess it's about trying to stay as positive as possible
yeah, yeah,
and accepting there's going to be lows, and taking yourself off to bed and crying if that's what you feel like you need to do.
yeah,
But trying to stay upbeat, because
yeah,
actually the positivity and that, I do think, very much that getting your mind into the right frame
yeah,
and sort of
yeah,
almost saying, no, this is it now, this is going to happen, this is everything I was meant to go
yeah,
through for this to happen, is kind of the mental space I'd got into before it all worked.
yeah,
And and then my second child was born without any drugs.
yeah, yes. It's
So
interesting,
kind of
isn't it?
just, they do say that once your body knows what to do, it kind of then just does it afterwards.
Yeah,
So, but I think it just it's made me stronger, and
yeah,
it's made me appreciate my children more and what I
yeah,
have more. Because I think
yeah,
otherwise I would have probably it would have been another tick box in my
yeah,
journey of, grow up, get married, get a job, be successful at all of that, have babies, carry on with the job. I think I would have
yeah,
just tried to do it all. And actually, this made me take a break,
yeah,
in effect, to be a mum. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's such an inspiring story, and I think it's very interesting also that you touch on, also believing that it's possible. Sometimes the mental state that we feel so negative about things, and it's never going to happen, and it's not going to happen for me, and all of that has a lot to do, and a lot to affect on you physically,
Yes.
how you feel.
And I think it's okay, it's the worst thing to say to someone who's going through this is, oh, you should be positive. Because sometimes you don't want to be positive. Sometimes
Yeah,
you want to be upset and you want to think the world sucks.
yeah,
This is not cool. This is not fair. I'd be
yeah,
amazing mother, or why
yeah,
me? But actually, have those moments, but bounce back quick.
yeah,
And surround yourself with positive energy. Don't do things that don't make you feel good. Do things that
yeah,
do make you feel good.
yeah,
And I read a lot of books. I mean, I read a lot of books. Um, we're Indian, so again, my parents were like, "Oh, and you should." So many superstitious things. You should do
yes,
this, and you should. In the end, I had to just stop because I was trying to do all this spiritual stuff, and it just was overwhelming. So, just find your own energy and what
yeah.
feels good for you. But there were some really lovely books that I kind of felt got me in the right space. Um, and just having faith that it will happen, and this
Yeah.
is the journey that you're meant to be on.
Yes. And now, as a juggling, of course, mummy,
Yeah.
and fashion blogger, I know you've written some beautiful work as well. And you
Oh,
really do. I like the term influencer, but I really mean that in the sense of a positive thing. It's more like that you inform, you support, you suggest, you offer advice. And I know that you've got lots to share with us this afternoon. So I will
ah,
indeed, my lovely Chet, let's,
yeah.
start off with your passion for fashion, Chet. Let's start off with
Okay.
this.
So I have loved fashion from as a child. I mean, I used to make shoes out of cardboard and
Mm,
my mum's deodorant lids for heels and
yeah.
string. And so I was forever, and I loved clothes even then. And I loved new dresses. My mum was
Yeah.
kind of like anything new was like, I'd love. And that never really sort of went away. I went to study marketing. I was going to go to do fashion,
Mm-hmm.
decided not to because I didn't want to do a year at college. I just wanted to go
Yeah.
straight to university. And so that kind of, so that kind of happened. And then over the years, Instagram allows people to share
Yeah.
their daily journey. And so I've kind of just, from that started sharing the things I wear, genuinely the things I wear. I've always been very creative. I did studied marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just kind of grown from that really. And I feel a little bit like an imposter, sort of saying to people, so I would never say you should wear this or this is the right thing,
Mm-hmm.
because I sort of feel like, well, who am I to say that? I've done a 3-month course with the London College of Fashion, but that's not, that doesn't make me an authority. But what I can do is suggest any tips that I've picked up,
Yeah.
which is what I try to do, and to share things that I like. I also like to show, when I have time, how to style things in lots of different ways. So how to
Mm-hmm.
take a simple shirt, for example, style it up in lots of ways. How to take a dress from spring through summer through winter,
Yeah.
and how you can style that up differently. So I kind of like to share those kind of things on my
Mm-hmm.
Instagram page.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the biggest sort of thing, so in terms of things that I wanted to sort of communicate here,
Yes.
for anyone sort of not feeling, we're all sort of stuck at home. And again, we're now
Mm.
back to only 6 people. It's going to be a funny year.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
someone who predominantly works from home, I
Yeah.
drop my girls to school and then I'm back home. I have no real reason to dress up, but I do. So for me, this was no different. I dressed up. And it forces me to change my frame of mind. So in my
Mm.
head, if I'm wearing PJs or if I'm wearing like casual, really, really relaxed stuff, then I'm kind of watching Netflix or snuggled on the
Yeah.
sofa. Whereas if I make an effort to put some makeup on, doesn't have to be
Yeah.
much. I just, my one big thing I have to do is curl my lashes.
Yeah.
I have to curl my lashes.
Brilliant.
It's the most bizarre thing. I don't wear mascara or anything, but
Brilliant.
I have to curl my lashes.
Excellent.
And so, I will curl my lashes, put lip balm on, And I wear jewelry, so I'll add
Yeah.
pieces, you know,
Yeah.
and that makes a difference. So I will add stuff. I'm not going anywhere. I haven't been anywhere today at all. I've been at home.
Yeah.
I've popped on a white shirt so that you guys can see just something really classic.
Yes.
But if you know, I guess it can be overwhelming if you're, especially if you're on social media, or if you're sort of feeling the pressure to always look good. Actually, there's some really simple tips in terms of how to look pulled together and stylish without feeling forced to do so. So my first tip is know yourself. I would love, love, love to walk around in heels, in blazers and jackets, but my lifestyle doesn't really warrant that for most of the part. So knowing yourself is about coming up with 5 keywords. It's knowing your style manifesto. And those 5 keywords, I'm going to just sort of look kind of like, so the first word is related to your characteristic. So what would you like your characteristic either to come across as or to be, or what would you know? So for me, it's confident. That would be one word that I would choose. So that's my first word. The second thing, what do you aspire to be? So do you aspire, you know, do you aspire to be, so my word is fearless. So I try and put myself in situations like this, which feel quite scary, not my norm. All of me wants to say no, but you know, I'm trying to be more like, no, I'm going to do this. What's the worst that's going to happen? So, you know, my word's fearless. Then what's the visual aesthetic that you want to communicate to the world outside? So what do you want them to see when they see you? Because that we do build a perception based on how someone looks, and we do judge based on how someone looks. And so my word is creative. So I want people to look at the way I dress, where I pull things together, and to think, oh gosh, she's really creative how she does that, you know, how she's worn that in so many different ways, or how she's made something so simple look so different. So that again is my word. And then what's your current lifestyle? So mine is, I'm very girly, I'm very feminine, I have 2 daughters, I'm a big champion of women and women supporting women. I will always help anyone that DMs me. I will try and get back to them if they've messaged me. If anybody asks for help, I will be as open as I can be. So, you know, for me, feminine is not, and I will add like the, you know, boots, trainers and biker jackets, but for the most part, I'm quite girly. So I embrace that. I thought I'm just going to embrace the feminine. And then a word that expresses another part of myself that I'd like people to know about, and that word is classic. So when I go shopping, or when I think about buying clothes, I think about my 5 words, and I think, do they represent me? And those words can change. So if you, depending on what life stage you're at, it can change every 6 months. You might move from the city to the country. You might go from not having kids to having kids, or you might go from having young kids to having teens. So, or not having a job to having a job. So any life change, those words can be tweaked and changed. But if you think about those 5 words, and there's a blog post up on my website that talks you through how to go through that process, then you can sit and work out, does this meet my 5-word criteria? And it doesn't have to meet all 5 words, 2, 3, 4 words. Is this saying I'm confident? Is it saying is it expressing my keywords? Is it a classic piece? So that's the first step in knowing yourself. The second step is we also always have bits about us that we don't like. When I lose weight, when I've toned my arms, when I've toned my butt or my legs or my thighs, I will buy this. Or I'm going to buy this because I'm going to one day fit into it. And there's all those moments where when I think we need, it's almost like stopping that and saying, right, I'm going to accept that this is who I am and this is how I look for now. What do I like about myself? So which bits of my body do I like now? So I hate my arms. The top of my arms are really fat. They always have been, and that's not me just saying that, you know, but that is just where I store my fat. Even as a child, my arms were fat. That was just a thing. And so I will detract from those, you know, and I quite like you know, my legs are okay, my neckline's okay. So I will then sort of, and my waist is quite small. So then you sort of think, well, where can I, so I'm going to detract away from the bits I don't like, and I'm going to attract attention to the areas I do like. So you first need to accept, then you need to attract to the areas that you do like, and you need to detract from the areas you don't like.
Yeah.
Whilst you're still working on yourself. So what you're not saying is, when I do this, I will eventually buy the clothes I love. You're buying things. And actually for me, these big balloon sleeves have totally worked out. This trend is perfect for my arm issue. So, you know, you kind of work around it, and then you find styles that suit you.
Yes.
It's also knowing that not every trend has to be meant for you. You might love it with a passion. It might look good on so many people. It might not suit you. Square necks don't suit me. Square necklines, I love them. Love them on other people. They don't suit me. They don't sit well on me. My boobs are too big for them. I feel like it's a shelf. It just doesn't work. You know, I tried it. I bought one thing. I kind of wore it. Not that into it. I won't make that mistake again. So know that, you know, some trends are not necessarily meant for us. And also, ultimately, wear what you love. You know, if you love something, wear it. If it makes you feel good, wear it. If you're wearing a short skirt and you're constantly pulling it down, and you feel self-conscious, and you don't feel, well, then obviously that's you're not feeling good in that. But if you're wearing it and you feel 10 foot tall and amazing, oh my God, wear it. You know, I'm a big believer of wear what you feel is good for you, no matter what. There's no age, you know. Other big tip, don't think about sizes. Whenever you buy something, look at the shape, forget the size. I have sized up, so I have things that are a size 4 because it's a huge dress, and therefore a size 4 was, even that is big, but it's just the shape of the dress. And I have things that are a size 12, size 14, because I want it to be oversized. I look at how it would feel on, as opposed to get hung up about, oh my goodness, I'm now a size 10 or a 12 or a 14 or a 16. Don't worry about that. And also every store has different shapes and sizes, like their sizing runs differently. So never kind of go, well, I'm a standard X, you know, and be gutted if then something doesn't fit. So those are a few of my tips. The other thing is color. A lot of people shy away from it. If you are not confident, it is worth, there are so many women online at the moment that are amazing personal stylists. So if anybody is interested, message me and I will hook you up with people who I think would be good. But there are so many amazing people that are personal stylists that are now doing things online. They're now giving advice online, obviously. So A, that's more cost effective, but B, you can get your colors done quite easily. And that might, for someone who's shy of playing around with color, that might suddenly open up a whole portfolio of stuff that you can then buy. So, you know, if you're shy about color, then I definitely worth saying, you know, take a look at getting your colors done, because it does make a huge difference as to which tones suit you, you know, and which will reflect. So depending on your skin tone, if you put a sheet of color, it will reflect it will look different. So if I put something bright, which I don't have, but I'm going to maybe try this. So depending on what you put, your face should light up.
Wow.
Whereas,
big change.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Can you see the huge difference?
Yes.
And that's just me putting up a color.
Yeah.
So you can see how my face lights up, and how when I take it down.
Of the color palette. That's brilliant. It's
and
brilliant.
Also, I mean, when I was told this, I just could not believe, you know, could not believe that color has such a big difference on our skin. There's certain colors, black, for example, will show the darker bags under your eyes more. It reflects that as you get older.
Which is hard, because we can sometimes go for black, particularly when we're not feeling so good, and when we are feeling bad or depressed or low, you know, sometimes.
But the thing is, if you go for black, if you keep it like, if you don't, I mean, I'm saying this, I have turtlenecks, but if you break it up with color, or if you keep it like a V-neck, you know, we've all got black dresses. It's just about breaking that up. but it's also just knowing, you know, you might go, well, I'm just going to put extra concealer on, it's fine.
Yeah.
But it's knowing which colors bounce off your face and really help brighten things up, and which, you know, don't work so well.
So interesting.
The other tip, okay, so I'm also at the moment doing my master's in sustainable fashion management. So I'm kind of, you know, I'm at that point where I love clothes. I have a lot of clothes. I'm a hoarder as well. I do recycle to my sister-in-law, who hates shopping and is the same size. So my clothes generally get worn a lot. And then whatever neither of us want, my mum sends out to India. So actually, I feel like the life cycle of my clothes goes on for about 15 odd years, if not longer. But if you are thinking of buying, I think about classics. So think about your wardrobe. First of all, before you buy anything, think about your wardrobe. Think about what basic pieces do you have. Now, I'm going to rattle off some that I think quite good to have. So a really good pair of jeans, you know, 2-3 pairs of jeans. A white shirt is a classic. A blue shirt is a classic. Pleated skirts, always a winner. Midi pleated skirts are always great. Dresses, a black dress, a white dress, you know, dresses always work throughout seasons, I feel. You know, tailored trousers, so black trousers you can have, and these you can have in any shapes that suit you. And once you find a shape that suits you, don't feel you have to just stick to that. It's always good to try different things, but if you then think, oh, that doesn't work, go back to the shape that you like, that suits you and flatters your body shape. So basics is kind of like, and then every season add in the absolute, you know, odd trend pieces that you love, but those trend pieces will no doubt, you know, not last their length of time. This shirt is French Connection. I think I've had it for about 15 years. So
I think
some pieces just don't go, right? Some pieces are always going to be there.
Like you say, going back to the classic.
It is going back to the classics and then adding some bits and pieces. Now, a few tips. I'm conscious I haven't got long, so very few tips.
That's okay, keep going.
So if you, when you look at people on Instagram, or you look at people that you like, them, you know, their dress sense and their style, take a look at how they accessorize and how they style basic stuff. So how do they turn up their jeans, for example? Very simple, but it makes a big difference. How do they roll their sleeves up? So if I have my sleeve down, it makes a big difference. When my sleeve's here, you're pulled into my waist. So just doing that, makes a very big difference, which is why when you see a lot of photos, even with us in blazers and stuff, we will pull up the blazer. When you put and then the other thing, right, okay, so I'm going to quickly see, I'm not sort of sat in the best position. So I'm going to, this is one of my favorite oversized blazers. So I'm going to put it on and I'm going to try and show you the style tip. Okay, so let's just think. Now, if I left it like that, yeah, it works, but I look quite drab. So instead, what I'm going to do is, and I should have done that earlier, pull down my shirt. So just simple things. If you look at influencers, I'm so sorry that you're just seeing, right, so I've pulled through. So if you look on this side, and what most of us would naturally do is just not bother. By pulling through your cuff. And then pulling it up, it's kind of like almost effortlessly.
Nice. Adding that,
And even with your shirts, you can either do a half tuck, and what you're doing there is you're showing people your waist again, you're bringing in the eye line. Or you can do a front tuck so that the back is left out and loose. So it kind of looks like a casual, you know, you've left it casually. I'm going to take this off because it's so hot. So there are lots of tips that you can do with just basics. And blazers I adore, jeans I adore, shirts, t-shirts, I think, you know, good quality. Uniqlo have some amazing basic t-shirts, cashmere, they've got amazing thermals. So you can then take a summer dress. You could add a leather biker. and a pair of boots.
Brilliant.
And that's good for winter.
Yeah.
And you could layer that underneath with thermal leggings and a thermal top. So actually nobody even knows.
See, I wouldn't have thought. I would have just put the summer away and that would have been that. I
No,
wouldn't have
so
thought.
you can extend your wardrobe a lot. And actually I bought this dress, which is very summery, recently.
Nice, really
very
nice.
Summery, very floaty.
Really nice.
And before it gets too cold, I mean, I will have to put it away, but before it gets too cold, I will wear it like this with a pair of trainers.
Yeah, beautiful.
And it's a long dress,
but
there's nothing saying that you can't add a pair of white trainers and dress that with that.
I love the idea of adding the white trainers as well. You mentioned this to me before, right? You don't have to wear heels. We don't have to walk around in 3-inch heels.
Not at all. I'm a huge fan of trainers. I have so many pairs. Also, don't be scared of going bright with your accessories. So I was sent a pair of yellow trainers, which I adore. They're phenomenal. But don't be scared of going, you know, you might go with a basic outfit like the denim jeans and the shirt that I've got on, and then you might add a really cool pair of shoes that stand out. So I've got some yellow heels that I love. So if I was then going out for lunch, I'd put a blazer and those yellow heels on. I might then switch those heels and put my Birkenstocks back on or a pair of trainers back on just to go grab the kids. It's all about layering. So even with this, over winter, you can add a jumper, you can add a blazer, you can just slowly layer up with your pieces and like coats that are quite, you know, oversized, that will go over multiple sort of different layers. And there's nothing to say you can't add your denim with your leather. So you could put your leather, you could put your denim underneath your leather blazer if the sizes allow, or you could wear this. I would naturally wear, you know, I'd put denim underneath any of these coats, these big coats, because they're
you'd even put a denim jacket underneath a coat potentially, because again I have a denim jacket that I never wear. I would just you know, I just love it to see life.
If you go onto my feed, sort of obviously not now because it's summer, but if you look back, you'll see how I've layered leather jackets with formal coats, just so that I'm warm, but also I'm using all my wardrobe. And the layering makes it look good. So that's another quick tip. Is the rule of 3. This is kind of not just in fashion. This is actually historically across everywhere. You know, rule of 3. Even in interiors, in architecture, the rule of 3 is more pleasing to the eye. So I think it's the odd number situation. So in this situation, think of a statement piece. So think of a piece that you really love, that you want to wear. Then add a sort of, you know, a sidekick piece. So something that's in between, and then add a basic. So those are your 3 pieces. Then you can layer your jewelry, your shoes, your bag, and start thinking in that way. Sometimes you might start with a pair of shoes and go, right, that's my statement piece. So what am I going to wear? That's, again, there's a blog post on this on my website that talks about how the rule of 3 works. And again, if you look at photos that inspire you, stop and think, well, what is it about this photo that I find inspirational? If you put lots of stuff on and you think, oh God, it's a bit, take stuff off, you know, always take stuff off. Don't feel you have to. Sometimes simplicity is actually the best, but equally don't be afraid to try things different. If you're not into necklaces, try a scarf. If you're not into anything on the neck, put on some earrings. If none of that's your go-to, then go with the rings and the bracelets. You know, it's about what feels good to you and what's your personal style, without feeling like you have to follow everyone else.
I think that's really interesting. And what you said about before about looking for inspiration in others, but also understanding a little bit. And it also goes back to a bit of the mindful shopping that you spoke of earlier on, just for those people that maybe that missed it earlier on, just kind of, you know, thinking of those key things, those key words that you mentioned before just panic buying, which I am probably, like everyone else, guilty of doing. I have loads of things in my wardrobe with the tags in. I've got them home and I'm never going to wear them, but they look really good.
And it's that short. So what I used to, so when I started looking at myself, and you know, if you go through your wardrobe and you start looking at what it is you're buying, I realized I was a huge sale shopper. So I would buy things in the sale, especially expensive stuff, so designer things, because they were in the sale and I could suddenly afford them. But they weren't really the right size. They were either too big, too small, but I'd fit into them. I mean, who does that? Once I learned that I was a sale shopper, like big time, I stopped. I now don't buy in the sale unless I absolutely need it. And to be honest, I don't need anything. So I'm kind of like, the last few years, I haven't bought anything in the sale. So I actually don't have anything with tags on in my wardrobe. The other tip I would say is buy something. I'm an online shopper. I'm a huge online shopper. So I buy things turn up. Before I'd try it on, I'd rip the tags off. Now I try it on. I leave it boxed up, leave all the packaging. I wait a couple of weeks. There'll be the odd piece that comes in that I go, oh my God, I love. And then I know I love it. But there'll be pieces that I think, I'm not quite sure. And if there's a small part of you that thinks I'm not quite sure, leave it. Try it on again in a week, in a few days. More often than not, I guarantee you 80% of the time you will send it back because you will know that there's something better out there. And I have started doing that. And I have to say I've sent back probably about 90% of things that I've ordered over the summer. I've sent back. Even today, I've got a blazer that it's lovely. But initially I would have gone, I'm going to rob it. It's not that expensive and it's made from sustainable material. Ticks all the boxes. But actually, when I tried it on again today, I just thought, I don't really love it. So send back. There'll be another blazer that I will love more, that I will wear more.
And I think that goes back to feel good as well, chat about, I think we had a question all the way back up here, actually, an interesting question about sort of dressing when you don't feel so good, what to suggest in terms of dressing when you don't feel so good and you feel a bit depressed, low, especially when we're having fertility treatment, uncertain times, COVID, we're dealing with so much right now.
So I think in that situation, I would say buy some nice loungewear. Have the options, right? Because my loungewear generally would always be really crappy. Be cheap stuff because no one's going to see it, but buy yourself a nice set. There are some beautiful brands that do some gorgeous stuff. So if you're not feeling great and I remember coming home after my treatment, and actually that's when the water I started getting all the water retention, so I had over hyperstimulation, and so actually I was just laid up, and I was actually really ill. I couldn't move, but if you're having those moments where you just don't feel right, have something nice to wear, treat yourself. It's a really tough process. Save up, ask for it as a present, but have some nice stuff that you can still feel good about.
I love
that.
Wearing. I do.
So it's not necessarily that you've got your clothes or then nothing decent, so have some lovely stuff to wear. And I think my last post, I think it's a brand, I'm not going to be saying this right, but I think it's Evergy. Anyway, that is my last post on my feed, and it's a blue lounge suit that you can wear to bed. Like literally you could wear it. It is the most beautiful thing I've been sent. It's so lovely. And you can wear it daytime. I wore it out in the day to drop the girls, but I was like, oh my gosh, I wanted to sleep in this. It is lovely. On the other scale, if you're just feeling a little bit, dress up. Put your don't save stuff for best. Put something on. Put lips. I can't explain enough how you, and it's not just about what you look on the outside. I totally appreciate that, but it does make a big difference mentally in terms of how you feel. That might be someone might feel better putting their makeup on or just wearing some nice clothes. Whatever is your thing that makes you feel good, do it. And for me, I went through that whole phase of just walking around in gym kit the whole day and not actually going to the gym. Because it was easy, right? I wore that I probably went through about 2-3 years of just wearing that and saving my clothes for going out, which I hardly ever do. I then went through I'm not doing that. I'm just going to wear everything. So now it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's like a going out dress. If I can dress it down for the day, I will. If I want to wear it, I'll wear it. I'll somehow work it with trainers. You
I
know, you
love
can
that.
work it with trainers, you can dress it up with heels. There might be the odd occasion dress that I can't do that with, but most of my stuff I can dress up and down.
Yeah, I
And I
love that.
do.
I love that.
Don't
Yes.
save it, wear it. If you want to
Yeah.
wear something, wear it, you know, don't save it for an occasion. I think
Yeah.
you can wear it to the occasion, but you can dress it differently, style it
Yes.
differently. Put the other big thing with dresses, summer dresses, you can put jumpers over them.
Nice. Nice.
Sweatshirts,
Yeah.
so you can put your hoodies, your sweatshirts over
Yep.
them.
Yep.
Satin skirts are great. Slip dresses are
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
You know, there's simple ways with clothes and color. You know, I've got a lot of, I have to say, I did look at my reel thinking I've kept it quite neutral. I do have a lot of color upstairs. And I dress at the moment, I dress depending on my mood and the weather. So I kind of dress to sort of suit how I feel. Do I want to wear color? I go through phases. So sometimes you'll see a lot of color on my grid. And then other times you'll see a lot of neutrals. It just depends on how I'm feeling. But I do think, you know, dressing to lift your mood, try it. Just try it. See how, you know, make the effort, even if sometimes you feel I don't want to, and
No,
see
I
how
think
that changes your mindset.
yeah, and I think you've really, I mean, you've certainly really inspired me to do that, to rethink, to just go into the wardrobe and, you know, just sort of face a lot of things that haven't probably seen outside the wardrobe for many years,
Yeah.
probably. You know, Chet, I'm just, you know, you really, it's finding almost a new passion for what you've got already as well. We don't have to necessarily go out and buy
No,
new things.
no.
And you've even inspired me maybe to have a look, see if I've got a dress. I never wear dresses.
Yeah.
I don't
And
feel feminine.
actually, one of the things I'm going to do this autumn, so I have this rail. This rail normally sits in my bedroom. This is I'm in
Yeah,
my office. I dragged it down.
yeah,
But what I'm going to start doing to challenge myself is pulling out autumn winter pieces that I own already
yeah,
for years, but
yeah.
I just haven't worn. And I'm going to
Nice,
challenge myself to wear
nice.
them. And if I can't wear them, then I need to sell them
Yeah,
or pass them on.
yeah,
But I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to pull things out
yeah,
because apparently of our wardrobe, we probably only at any one given time wear about 30% of it.
for
So
sure. Probably.
70% will sit not being worn. And I
Yeah,
have a lot of stuff that I just don't want to part with, but haven't really worn.
yeah,
And that's an
yeah.
emotional, I need to get over that. I need to work out why I don't want to let it go,
Mm-hmm.
but why am I not
Yeah,
wearing it? So
yeah.
that's my challenge, is to fill this rail every
I
week
like
with
that a
like
lot.
several pieces that are
Nice.
old and just see what's going on. Am I going to wear them? Am I not? Can I style them? Do I feel comfortable in them? If
Yeah.
not, then that's, you know, I need to think of where that's going to go next.
Wonderful chat. This is so amazing. So I just to finish before we close, if anyone has any questions for you, I mean, I'm sure you'd be
They can
delighted,
just
you
message
know.
me. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you can get in touch. That's really lovely. Chet's really happy for you to get in touch with her. And so key pieces with regards to just a final quick recap of you know, so if you're in a hurry, you're in a rush, you find yourself in a shop. Okay, what do I do? Like quick.
So if you're okay, so if you're in a, if you, it depends on where you're going. I don't think you can go wrong with a basic shirt, jean, blazer look.
Yeah.
You know, buy a nice belt. I bought this at the airport.
Nice.
It was
Really
a
nice.
birthday. It was like a birthday anniversary. It was a whole year's worth of presents. But I have worn it so much. It was so worth it. So
Yeah.
I can, recommend that if there's a special event or a birthday or something, pick an accessory. I'm a big fan of designer accessories because then it doesn't matter what you wear. It just, I've built them up over the years with the view that I buy less now because I have two girls that I have to sort of supplement.
Sure.
But I've built up a collection of stuff in the past that now any basics, it just adds a bit of extra. So I would say blazer.
Yeah.
The other key pieces I would say for autumn winter that you can't go wrong with: denim jackets, biker jackets, a trench coat. Those are all great layering pieces.
Nice.
Find a dress that you love, whether it be a buffet style, a midi, a maxi. Find a dress. When it comes to prints, think about yourself. Some people love prints. what I found is I love prints, I love colors, but I get bored of them very quickly. And I also then get the feeling of, oh, once you've worn it a few times, everybody recognizes it. So I now try to stay away from that and only buy prints that I know that I will wear for a long time, because they're kind of quite simple, work with lots of things. So this dress works with denim, it works with leather, it works by itself. Pleated skirts are another one. You know, you add a pleated skirt with a t-shirt or a shirt. You could top that off with a leather jacket. Can you see how quickly? Add a pair of white trainers. You know, get a decent pair of trainers or boots. You can add some biker boots.
I love the pleated skirt idea. I really love that.
So there's loads of things out there that you can do.
Brilliant, Chat.
The other key piece I would say, if you can feel good about it, are leather jeggings.
Nice.
So so they're like leather-lit leggings. These ones are from mint velvet.
But they're stretchy.
They're stretchy, but with a again, you add if I took this shirt out, it's quite an oversized shirt. You put those on, add a black blazer, roll up the sleeves.
Nice.
Add some nice trainers, and you're good to go. With a cool necklace. You know, I could switch it out, or I could then put heels with it. I'd be good to go for the evening. It just those little pieces that can work day to night, and just work harder for you, basically, so you get more for your money. And you also, your wardrobe is, you know, black leather leggings are never not going to be in.
No, brilliant.
You know, so if they suit you, then, and you can style them in multiple ways. And you'll see lots of inspiration on Instagram, and on Pinterest is another great place to go. For inspo as well.
Chet, that's so marvelous. Thank you. You've packed in such wonderful information into this time.
I was trying to get it all in.
It's brilliant, and I'm so pleased actually. And I didn't want to interrupt your flow, because I could really see that you're going through all these very important things. So I just let you kind of go through, and hopefully I remembered them. But we can find them more information on your blog and things, can't we?
Yes,
we can follow you, find your blog.
Find me on Instagram as well.
That's so fantastic, my love. Thank you so much, and thank you to everyone for listening in.
And I hope the rest of the day goes well.
Thank you so much, Chet. Big hugs. Thank you.
Don't worry, darling. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.